Hello, I'm with Pastor Gerry Leet of the City Centre Ministry in Halifax, and we're going to have a little conversation about an important project that Pastor Gerry's been working on. Welcome, Gerry.
Thank you, Jim.
Can you tell me about the manual that you have in your lap? It looks interesting, and I'd like to find out more about it.
Yes, Jim. Well, this all began with a meeting with the Chief of Police about a year and a half ago. People of Halifax realize we've had a problem with crime and robbery in our community. And so the chief kind of challenged us to, as far as the church is concerned of Halifax, if we could be more proactive in that area. It's a crime prevention manual, and on the cover you'll see Sherlock Holmes, and Sherlock is trying to find the answer to crime. Some of the problems that cause crime, like mental health problems, drug and alcohol addiction, poverty and economic stress, educational opportunities, gambling compulsions, violent video games and movies, family breakdown and relationship volatility, and the glorification of crime and gangster mentality. And also I've added here a decline of boundaries and values and morality in our society. And I feel these all contribute to crime. And so a lot of the programs out there criminologists have are good programs, and they certainly deal with the social issues. But we're looking at a primary area, and that primary area, I think, is in the heart. And I think the only way to change a heart is through the Spirit. And so one of the focuses we have is to educate and also help people see that they're more than flesh and blood, that they're also a spirit. And so what we plan on doing is to go in the community, and we know we can't knock on all the doors, but we can knock on quite a few. And one of the counselors had said, well, maybe we should have teams of 2 that go into different neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. And we essentially know which neighborhoods to go in and where some of the problems lie. And so we will go into those neighborhoods, and and if, schools or where people hang out, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And
school presentations part of this?
We would like to adopt schools in certain areas. Okay. And have a partnership with the schools, because that's where a lot of our young people are. And I don't know whether people know it or not, but most crime is committed by those under 25 years of age. So it's really not essentially. It's essentially a young person's problem. Mm-hmm. So that will be a great deal of our focus. I go to the young offender courts in court, and there's a lot of young people that are out of control and have no boundaries, and will do just about anything. I mean, they're out of control, and so we have to help those people, because they can cause a great deal of problems in our community.
What's the main message of the Crime Prevention Manual from City Centre Ministry?
Well, the main message is that together we can make a difference. That all of us working together, even if you don't have a faith, you can still contribute in other ways. We hope that people will certainly see the value of a spiritual life, and see that it can be quite beneficial to crime and crime prevention. And so that is going to be part of our emphasis too.
Will you be steering people to church if they want to go?
Yeah, and it's completely up to them. This is, we're not going to certainly force people, but we're going to leave it open for them. In our churches we have a lot of mature and elderly people that have experienced life, and they know the ups and downs of life. And so we look at some of our church people being mentors for young people, and maybe a few churches can adopt a few of our young people that are out of control and help them, and bridge a gap there maybe that they never had before in their life, or had the opportunity in their life.
It sounds a lot more hopeful than some of the programs I've seen come down the pike.
Yeah, I've looked at different studies and different criminologists about I mean, in Edmonton and in Los Angeles, they spend thousands and thousands, and if not millions of dollars on crime prevention, and they're doing their very best. But until you get to the real root of the problem, in my estimation, is the human heart. And until someone can change a heart, we'll continue to have problems. And like Edmonton, they spend quite a bit of money on crime prevention, and they still have a very high crime rate and violent crime rate, although they work very hard at it. So we see this is part of the solution. With a collaboration with a number of social agencies such as domestic violence, YWCA, a number of agencies, including the police. And one of the problems that was identified is that we have a problem of not all working together. Like there may be one particular person that's causing a lot of problems in an area, and different agencies may be working with that family or with that person. And so it's a matter of communicating with each other. So that's identified as one of the problems, that we can try all to work together on the same problem, be on the same page. And so that's one of the things that we'd like to accomplish. And part of the outreach is going to be to include all these agencies, including our mayor and our councillors and maybe other politicians, to go out in the community and see what we can do, actively do, along with the participation of the church. We have two areas that we're looking at. One is to deal with the practical and recognizable reasons why there is crime and what causes crime, the social factors. And then we'll look at we'll certainly focus in on the spiritual issues that cause crime. So we will be, when we do our walkabouts in neighborhoods, we'll be presenting both of them. And so if there is an interest in the spiritual issues of what causes crime, then we'll certainly refer people on to the local church or to churches or to mentors in the church. From a spiritual perspective, sometimes a conscience can get seared and they don't have a conscience. I mean, we've had some pretty violent crime in Halifax and some pretty atrocious things done by people. Jim, and after they do it, a lot of them say, why did I do that? They're remorseful. And so what we look at is trying to develop a spiritual base for the community and help people realize that once you involve yourself in criminal activity, you're going down the wrong road. It's a wrong choice in life. Mm-hmm. And you got to turn around and change your life and change your behavior. And we believe, my faith as a Christian is that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life, and that's the way.
Self-motivate them to be a better person?
To be a better person, yeah.
Now, I'll just ask you a question. Are you going to be able to approach people who are milling around a street corner, or maybe sitting in a car and they look like they're about to do a drug deal, and try to do an approach that way? Or are you going to be talking to them after they've run afoul of the law and are incarcerated?
Yeah, of course, the whole program is to prevent crime, and so we hope not to talk to them. Well, we would talk to them after the crime, but when we go into a community, what we're trying to do is educate the community and help prevent crime that way. We will be identified by maybe shirts or badges or something that people will know we're in the community and we're there to help. We're not there to judge anybody. We're not there to enforce any laws. We're just there to help, and bring help. And I mean, there's some people that they will go about their criminal lifestyle, and we realize that. But at least we're there.
Do you think they might ignore you?
Oh, yeah, basically, some may. But, in each of us is something, that I think they see people, hey, these people are trying to help me. And, when people are trying to help you, there's a bit of an open door, even for the most hard hearts. And so that's what our intention is to bring the message of healing to the community and a new way of live.
I'm almost out of time. I guess the question is, do you need volunteers to help change people's hearts? If so, how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, sure. We certainly do. It takes an entire community to prevent crime. So they can get hold of us at City Center Ministry, which our phone number is area code 902-420-1355. And if they want to email us, it's info@citycenterministry.ca, and the center spelt the British way, CENTRE, if they want to get hold of us, and we'd be more than happy to involve them in this outreach that we're going to have in our city.
Well, I must say thank you for all your efforts, Gerry. I'll wish you the very best in it as you deal with city leaders. And thank you for joining us today. My guest has been Pastor Gerry Leet of the City Center Ministry in Halifax.